Hello and welcome to First Coast Living. I'm Jordan Wilkerson. If you're into MMA, then this is for you. UFC Fight Night is coming to Jacksonville, although it's in the afternoon. Well, our executive producer is a huge UFC fan. His name is Justin Miller. We'll introduce you to him in just a second, but he got the chance to chat with local Austen Lane about tomorrow's fight at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Check it out.
The UFC is back in Jacksonville right here at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena this Saturday, and I have UFC fighter Austen Lane with us. He may look familiar. He was also a part of the Jaguars back in the day, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we have some huge news that we just found out about.
Correct.
You found out a little before me, which,
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of unfair, right? No.
Yeah.
So you are now going to be on the main card right here at VyStar fighting in your hometown, Jacksonville, Florida, where you live.
Yeah.
Hometown, is it hometown?
Yeah, absolutely.
You call it home.
I've been here for 10 years
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
man. Like,
yeah.
this is definitely my hometown, and it was wild. Literally, I'm in the gym. I get a phone call, a number I don't recognize. I answer it. They said, congratulations. I'm like, congratulations on what? They're like, you're on the main card now. You know, so I started on the prelims, which would have been a little earlier. Now I'm on the main card on ABC,
Yeah.
basically in front of the world. It's awesome, man.
Yeah, I mean, with UFC, you know, it's always been pay-per-view, ESPN, but now, you know, the fight starts at 3 p.m. on ABC. And, you know, what does that mean to you? Because that's, I mean, you're on national TV.
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot. Obviously, I think now my good grandpa can watch it because he doesn't really know how to work ESPN and all those channels. So, like, I mean, ABC is pretty easy to find, man. But it means a lot because, you know, there's been a lot of hard work in this, a lot of hard work and dedication. And to be seen in such a large audience, it really justifies that hard work. Yeah. So I'm really excited for it.
And, I mean, so you are making your UFC debut right here in Jacksonville. I mean, he got his contract by... You got a first-round knockout,
Correct.
right, on the
Yes,
Dana
sir.
White's
Yeah,
Contender
yeah.
Series?
Yep, yep.
So, I mean, the last 6 fights you've won,
Yes.
they haven't even gone the distance.
Yeah.
You finished every single one of them.
Yeah.
5 of the fights, not even out of the first round.
Dude, I see you do your homework a little bit, man. Yeah,
I mean,
good for you.
I'm a huge UFC fan.
Yeah,
That's why I'm doing this. You know,
Yeah.
normally I'm behind the camera, but you know, I'm a huge UFC fan, and I'm excited to watch the fights.
Yeah.
So how do you see this fight going with, you know, 6 of your last fights not even going the distance? Is this going to be a quick one, maybe?
Well, I mean, when you talk about the UFC, man, especially for my UFC debut, they know what they're doing, right? They put me against an opponent who likes to throw hands as well, and Justin Tafa. I mean, this guy, I think he has 6 finishes, and all those finishes, guess what? So when you mix me and him together, yeah, it's bound to be fireworks very early on in the fight.
So you know, you were drafted by the Jags. You went to other couple teams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Why do you call Jacksonville home? What made you come back here after retiring from the NFL?
You know, I mean, immediately when I got drafted here back in 2010, I fell in love with this city. You know, I fell in love with the city, the people, and obviously the beach. So I knew even once I was done playing for the Jaguars and I was on the different teams in Chicago and Kansas City and Detroit, I would somehow find my way back here. And that's exactly what I did. You know, it's one of those things growing up in small town Wisconsin with no beach and snow and winter. This was an easy move for me, so I figured once I was done playing ball, this would be my home.
All right, so I got a question.
I got an answer.
You know, when you're in the locker room for a fight, you have to have a different mindset than going out for a football game. Am I right? Or
no, you hit it right on the head, actually. So, you know, I always say football, it's more emotional, right? Because we're talking about plays that can last anywhere from maybe 7 to 10 seconds. So it's all short bursts, right? So you got to be, you know, in the mind of just, I'm going to diamond this guy in front of me. With fighting, it's a little different because fights can last 15 minutes, sometimes 25 minutes. You're talking about a championship fight. So with that mentality, I got to say, all right, you know, let's be calm, cool, collected. Let's not make mistakes, but let's go have fun doing it. So I think the mentality is definitely a little more reserved and chill as opposed to football where it's like all in your face nonstop.
Okay, well, so for viewers that really don't know a lot about UFC, you know, I went to a couple fights here in Jacksonville. You know, we got lucky and they had some amazing fight cards here. And I actually saw you there.
I was there.
You stand out a little bit. I'm like, who is that guy? Wait, no, I know
it's
who
the
he is.
beers, the dreads, what is it?
It's a little bit of
the height.
The height a little bit. Describe, you know, as a fan watching a UFC fight live.
Yeah. There's nothing like it. You know, there's nothing like it. Like, on TV, you know, it's cool because you get like a pretty good view of what's going on and everything. But when you talk about being there, hearing the hits land, hearing a guy getting taken down and then the cage slamming a little bit, there's no experience like it. And obviously the crowd's energy too is amazing, especially in Jacksonville, man. Like Jacksonville, the whole MMA scene. I mean, keep in mind when it was the COVID year, Jacksonville stepped up and said, we want to host the UFC, you know. So the MMA journey here in Jacksonville has grown the past couple of years. It's a great fan base, great fan support, and I'm excited to hear all those cheers when I walk out, man, this Saturday.
Oh, man, yeah, it's going to be exciting. Get some chills, you know.
Absolutely.
Now, speaking of that, I did hear Dana White say this may be one of the last Jacksonville cards for a little bit. I don't know how long,
Yeah.
but I did see an interview where he said that. So, now's your chance to get tickets.
Without a doubt,
This
yeah,
is your
no,
last.
without a doubt.
I've been messaging my cousins
Yeah.
this morning going, hey, if you want to watch a fight live, now's the chance. All right,
Yeah.
so last question. Where do you see this fight going? What's the best case scenario? Going in there and just bow, one
Yeah.
knockout, or?
No, you know what? So I always say, like, if I try to look for that knockout, that's when I get knocked out myself,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I'm gonna be calm, cool, collected, gonna be patient, and my opponent actually too, he has knockouts, but he's also calm.
Yep.
So it's gonna be kind of a chess match. I feel like of seeing who makes the first mistake. Obviously, I'm gonna capitalize at his mistakes, bring home the win. Shout out to Duval, and have a good
That's
day.
right. Well, speaking of that, let's go ahead and tag out with the Duval real quick.
Let's get it, man.
Remember, 3 p.m. ABC. If you want tickets, I believe Ticketmaster. Go to VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena website. You can get tickets. All right, you ready?
Let's get it, man.
3, 2, 1.
Duval!